So I'm out here about to wrap up the day, and I've been hunting this hole in the canopy here. You see how that space is up there? And this little area down in here in the woods is a little thicker than it is everywhere else. Ground cover. Sycamore trees all around this is a low spot. And these are the ones I decided to keep. There's a bunch. See, over there on the other side of that tree right there is another clearing, kinda. And there was a bunch of big ones just wide out in the open that nobody picked. And it was all mushy. I come over here by these big giant sycamores on the edge here of this clear spot. And they made this clear spot back here just last year. They did a bunch of reclaim and cut down a bunch of trees, and so now all this stuff in here is all open ground now that gets a lot more sun than it used to. And look at that thing. Right in here between these, I'm gonna make sure I ain't gonna step on anything. Right in here between these big old sycamore trees. I found a dried out one behind it where we're at right now. Look at this mushroom. This thing is glorious and beautiful. Come on now. Alright. That's a pretty good mushroom. That's a nice fresh one. That's the primo kind. These other guys just starting to spore. They're still good to eat, huh? Hell, I mean, they're good to eat. Even when they're completely orange. As long as they aren't rotten. But that's a pretty mushroom. Found a couple more dried up ones in here. There's a couple elm trees, but mostly sycamores in here that they left. We just had a couple days worth of rain in a row. We're supposed to get a couple more. I imagine it's going to drive some more mushrooms up before the ground closes them off totally. I'm going to walk around over in that scrub right there. And probably right there underneath that sycamore tree. And then I'm going to call it an evening. But man, that's a mighty fine mushroom right there. Wouldn't mind seeing one of his siblings sticking up. But it's getting to that weird kind of light where nothing really looks different than anything else. It's kind of hard to pick them up. This is my mushroom stick for the day. Sycamore, of course. But yeah, these gaps in the canopy that have all your other stuff in them. I mean, there's elm trees around the edges of it. There's a couple grapevines here and there. There's a bunch of rotted wood. But I really think the key of it is moisture and the organic volume that these sycamores throw on the ground. I mean, you think about it, they generate a huge canopy every year, like way bigger than it was the year before because they grow fast. And they dump all that tonnage of leaves down on the ground in the fall. And the whole time they're growing, you know, they're shucking bark just as much as the leaves, so that adds up even faster. And I swear, that's what keeps other stuff from growing so close to them and making little open spots around them, and I think that's one of the best things you can hunt for whenever you're hunting for mushrooms. Dinosaur land out there. But I'm gonna make one more lap through here before I pick my last good mushroom and head back to the truck. Hell, I've left probably 20 big old mushrooms. Man, there was some heartbreakers down there in that field. They were half-pound mushrooms whenever they weren't rotten. But hey, they're growing real predictably. They might flush out again. And I'll be there, because it don't look like anybody else is looking, for whatever reason. I always see a bunch of walk down areas whenever I'm out here. But belly's growling. They always just walk right by the mushrooms, because they're going to the poplar trees. Everybody goes to the poplar trees and walks them to death, and I don't know if they find anything. I've never really found anything good around the poplar trees around here. Wouldn't mind to stumble into a humdinger while I'm walking around with the camera running. Probably not going to happen out here. We're in way too much open sky right now. This all used to be woods. A good reason as any to walk it, because it used to be woods. It means it's got the right stuff here. Boy, they sure weren't shy about chopping it up, man, whenever they come through here. And they push that stuff over, and I mean, once all this stuff reclaims into wetland, it'll be pretty again, but right now it's kind of ugly. Big old grapevine there. It's kind of weird. Walk out here to this lonely elm tree. So I can't complain. Found a beautiful turtle. Some beautiful mushrooms on this walk. And I got a whole fridge full of things at home. I'm really just hunting them to give away to people now. Some of my other friends that don't get out. You know, all them folks that grew up and got families and stuff, they can't get out and just wander around in the woods like I do still. Poor guys. And then a couple other guys that are just not able to anymore because they're old. I figure if anybody's earned the right to have mushrooms delivered to their table, it's some of those guys. So, well, it don't look too promising out here in the sun-baked lands. I don't even see any that rotted over. But I was glad to even see some at all. I thought they tore up all the mushroom ground with the dozer work they did, because the dozer work starts right there. And they shredded everything up in here. But you never know what that's going to mean. Sometimes they say different mushrooms like disturbed ground. So if dozer work don't count as disturbance, man, I don't know what does. But yeah, I'm gonna walk back over to my mushrooms. I'm gonna pick them. Man, I'd like to see a big old honker sticking up underneath there. That'd be the spot to see one. These strange little clear spots. Now, I recognize that beer can. I already walked through here. Nothing else, you can usually come out of here with enough aluminum to pay for your gas. Oh, jeez. Well, get outside, you guys. Oh, there's a fungus. It ain't the right kind of fungus, but it's a pretty one. Well, there's some little yellow ones growing over here somewhere.